Yeah, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Here I'm back again, as usual, during the Shabbat for a new exploration in the Parashah. Today we have the Parashah Beshalach, which is in the book of Shemot, Exodus, from the chapter 13, verse 17 to 17:6. And after it's about Judge, chapter 4 to 5:31. Now, as we have spoken last week, for those who have watched the video about the coming out from Mitzrayim, and we will see that there is different things in this parasha, with the pillar of cloud and fire, the crossing of the Red Sea, and then the bitter water made sweet, the bread from heaven, which is a manna, the water from the rock, and Amalek. So there is a lot to discuss, but we will give only certain point to understand where is the meaning. For that, I will go in the text itself, and we're going to discuss. So we go to Exodus 13, 17. Now remember that in the last parasha, we see that they introduce the month of Aviv, the first month of the month, and the feast of unleavened bread, which is a cleansing of our life. And now they are going out. They're going to be free from Paro. I have explained in many parashas, in previous videos, that all is the shadows of our own life. Mitzrayim is the bondage in our life. Mitzrayim from Komsar, which mean which mean tribulation. So we have to go through our own tribulation in order to get free. And many texts will open as we grow in understanding. You know, when Yeshua said, I have come to set the captive free. Who are these captive free? We are this captive free. We are this captive which has been set free. But where is our prison? Our prison is in our mind. Mitzrayim is in us. We need to take Mitzrayim out of us. All what we have learned, all we have in our life. I quote many times the verse from Shaul in Romans 12, verse 2. We say that the sick brethren, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our mind, of your mind. We need to be renewed, and in order to renew ourselves, we need to let go the old, which is the old leaven. All that was wrong in us must be removed. We must remove this Mitzrayim from us, this Egypt. Egypt is a spiritual battle in every one of us. And unfortunately, it's not been taught in the majority of assembly. How do I get free? How do I come out of my prison? And the lacking of understanding brings trouble in our life. And we will see that this trouble is exactly what is going on in the life of the children of Israel. Now, I will show you a verse, and we try to give a context. So the first verse of the parasha, it is written, after Paro had let the people go, Elohim did not let them along the road to the land of the Philistines, although that was nearby, for he said the people might change their mind if they see war and return to Mitzrayim. So you see, here there is no shortcut with Elohim. We will have to go through the process. And because you know the Torah, we know that the children of Israel will stay in the wilderness for 40 years. 40 years they will turn round, they will turn in circle until they are ready to enter the land of Canaan. This is a picture of our life. The picture of our life is that when we come to Yeshua, we need also to go through the process of renewing. And the process of renewing is to learn to be free from our own Mitzrayim. And this is a process which is painful. We see that in the life of the children of Israel, and we see that Elohim was with the children of Israel, like Elohim is with every one of us today, the same. They go out from a place of confinement which they have adapted at their own life. It's amazing. They were living in Mitzrayim. Remember, in the previous Parashah, we read that they were crying to Elohim. They were crying because they were slave to Pharaoh. Now they want to be free. In the last Parashah, I explained we get free from Pharaoh pressure to become slave to Elohim, but on the free way. On the free way, we become servant of Elohim. So there is no alternative. And the two are as follow. We have in us the double personality, which is one is the flesh, which is dominant into us until we come to Yeshua. This is called in Hebrew the Yetzer, and the Yetzer Tov is a good side. So here represent in the story with Pharaoh, it is represented by Pharaoh. Pharaoh is representing the Yetzer or incarnate the Yetzer, the one who wants to do his own ways, and Moshe represents the Yetzer Tov. This means the one who submit himself willingly to the will of the Creator, Elohim. Now, every one of us, we have to go this process. We are the one, Yeshua, deliver us from Mitzrayim. When we acknowledge that Yeshua is Adon in our life, then we get free from Mitzrayim. But Mitzrayim is still within us. We will have to go through the process of restoring our soul. And this is not taught in many assemblies. Unfortunately, but it is true. I speak out of experience. So we have to work out, everyone for himself, to take out this Mitzrayim from his life. And it is a painful process. We see that how the children of Israel again and again will complain against Moshe for different things. But these different things represent our own struggle in life. You see, and that is what we have to understand. Now we see how powerful Elohim was when he delivered the children of Israel and once for all put Pharaoh to shame, to show him his mighty power. He drowned all the army of Pharaoh in the water, in the sea of reed, to show Pharaoh. Pharaoh did not die. He had to face his own fate. You were so hard in your heart that I have hardened your heart, that I may show you my kavod, my glory. You see, and now Pharaoh will see that and will have to face the reality of his own life, which he built himself. And this is what we have to know. We build our own reality. Our own reality started in our mind. And this, what we call the Yetzer Hara, is driven by our own ego. I. Me. This is the point. We have to see that as long as I don't understand that I will have to do something, I will be driven by my own ego. And this ego, it is a teaching from the Brit Hadashah, must die. Must die. This means, Yohanan said in the book of John chapter 1, he said, I must decrease that he may increase. You see, the own ego, the more the own ego is brought low, the more space we give for Mashiach in us. And this is something which we have to learn. This is how we apply the Torah into us. Now, you see, look, excuse me, I will not go into all the text from the Sea of Reed. I want to point to something specific in chapter 16 and 17. Now, he said, they journey out from, chapter 16, he said, they journey on from Elim, and the entire community of Bnei Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15 days of the second month, after leaving the land of Mitzrayim. As of 15 days, we know it is a full moon. Okay, it's a full. When we have the light of the moon, which is full there, to show the light in the night. So night is darkness. Darkness is a shadow also of lacking of something. But here, in the 15 days of the month, when we are with the full moon, the darkness disappears to a certain kind, because the moon lightens the darkness, right? So, he said, but the whole congregation of Bnei Israel murmured against Moshe and Aaron in the wilderness. Bnei Israel said to them, if only we have died by the hand of Adonai in the land of Mitzrayim, when we sat by pots of meat, when we ate bread until we were full, but you have brought us into the wilderness to kill this entire congregation with hunger. You see, can you imagine that they were just set free from the slavery from Mitzrayim, that the new challenge they face, they were not ready to bear it. They were not ready. Why? Because they were led by the flesh. They were led by the flesh. And the Parashah teaches us, the just shall live by his emunah. We found that in the book of Habakkuk. You see? Now, this is the moment that that Elohim take the opportunity to give them the bread from heaven. This bread from heaven is for us today the Torah. The Torah which is given to us through Yeshua. So we have every day the Torah with us. The Torah must be eaten. We fed our body every day. We don't forget to take our breakfast, to take our lunch, to take our dinner. But the same way, we need to feed our inner man in a spiritual way. So every day we should take a portion of the Torah, of the Psalm, of the Parashah, to read it and to ponder it. This is very important, to feed our inner man. So he gave them the manna. They were not happy with the manna. So, but he gave them a way to show them that he will care for them, and he will do that for 40 years until they cross the Jordan. When he stopped before the crossing of the Jordan, when they enter into the land of Canaan, the manna will stop. Until then, they will have to eat manna during the 40 years. So, and in spite of that, their body was okay. They were all complete. So now, we say here, Bnei Israel ate the manna for 40 years. They ate the manna until they came to an inhabited land, when they came to the borders of the land of Canaan. Now, in the chapter 17, we see all the congregation of Bnei Israel journey from the wilderness of Sin in stages, according to the command of Adonai, and camped in Rephidim, but there was no water for the people to drink. So the people quarreled with Moshe and said, give us water to drink. And Moshe said to them, why do you quarrel with me? Why do you test Adonai? You see, you quarrel with Moshe, you test Adonai. But the people thirsted for water there, and they complained against Moshe and say, why have you brought us out of Mitzrayim to kill us with thirst along with our children and cattle? You see, in the previous chapter, they quarreled with Moshe, telling him that they will die because of food. So he gave them manna. Now they say, you will kill us with thirst. So Moshe cried out to Adonai, saying, what am I to do for these people? They are about ready to stone me. They were very upset. Adonai said to Moshe, walk before the people and take of the elder of Israel with you, along with your staff, and with which you strike the river, take it in your hand and go. The same principle will apply now. Behold, I will stand before you there upon the rock in Horeb. You have to strike the rock, and what will come out of it, so that the people can drink. Then Moshe did just so in the house of the elder of Israel. The name of the place was called Massah and Meribah, because of the quarreling of Bnei Israel, because they tested Adonai, saying, is Adonai among us or not? You see, that is called doubt. And the consequence of that, what's happened? The next verse, what is written? Then the Amalekite came and fought with Israel at Rephidim. The consequence of doubt was that the Amalekite came to fight against them in Rephidim. Is Adonai among us or not? We should learn from that. We don't have to doubt. Even if we don't see anything, we know that Elohim is always with us, because it is written in a psalm, he who watch over Israel neither slumber nor sleep. And there is many verses to show us that Adonai say, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So we don't have to doubt. Doubt is a lack of emunah, of faith. And the consequence is the enemy has an open door into our life. And we know the fighters, the battles of the Yeshua. Yeshua will go to the battle against Amalek. Amalek is a spiritual entity which go into our life when we open the door to him with doubt. And it's very, very important to understand this principle. The just shall live by his emunah. Emunah is a trusting work in our life. I trust in the King of the universe, creator of heaven and earth, the sea and all that therein is. He is the only one that can change our life. He is the only one who gave by his love. Yohanan 3:16, Elohim of the world so much that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Everyone knows this verse. But we have to understand that we have to apply that to our life. We have to enter into it and to internalize this verse, so that no matter what comes in our situation, no matter what comes, it is for our good. Shaul explained and say, everything works for good to those who love Elohim. Everything, good or bad, at the end, it will work for good. Everything works for good to those who love Elohim. You see? So if we accept, if I have a bad situation, I will turn to Elohim and say, Father, thank you, for I know that you are able to deliver me. I know that everything comes for a purpose in my life, and I thank you that you open my understanding to be able to see what you want me to do. So, and the problem is here, as we see with the children of Israel, if we read I want to go to the 1 Corinthians, and we'll go back to here. In 1 Corinthians, verse, chapter 15, we read something very important. We have to understand this. Let me see. So, he says in verse 45, he says, 1 Corinthians 15:45, shall say, so also it is written, the first man, Adam, became a living nefesh. So, the last Adam became a life-giving spirit. However, 46, the spiritual is not first, but the natural. Then the spiritual. The first man is of the earth, made of dust. The second man is from heaven. Okay, like the one made of dust, so also are those made of dust. And like the heavenly, so also are those who are heavenly. As just as we have borne the image of the one made from dust, so also shall we bear the image of the one from heaven. So we have two parts, what I explained today, the carnal man and the spiritual man. The spiritual man is Mashiach, in us. We are partakers of the life of Mashiach by faith. So my brothers and sisters, you are not your own, we are not our own, we belong to Elohim. Because when we have to understand, we need to understand that when I come to Mashiach, I become one with him, as it is written in Yohanan 17:17. In Yohanan 17:17, this is a beautiful prayer from Yeshua to the Father. What does he say? He says, look, he said, in verse 20, Yohanan 17:20, I pray not on behalf of this only, but also for those who believe in me through their message, their writings, that they all may be one, just as you, Father, are in me, and I am in you, so also may they be one in us, so the world may believe that you sent me. The glory that you have given to me, I have given to them, that they may be one, just as we are one. I in them, you in me, that they may be perfected in unity, that they may be perfect in unity, so that the world may know that you sent me and love them as you love me. You see here, the key is the unity. Echad, you know the verse from Devarim 6:4, Shema Israel, Yehovah Eloheinu, Yehovah Echad, one. We have to understand that when we receive our nefesh is composed of 5 parts. The nefesh, which is the animal nature in us, like every animals. I say really animals. Then we have the ruach, which make us aware of the spiritual life above us. Then we have the neshama. The neshama is the spark of light in every one of us. Everyone, every human being, not animals, every human beings. And then we have another level which is not for us, which is the Chaya and the Yerida, which is the level of Mashiach. But for us, we have the Neshama. In order that the Neshama shine in us, we need to remove everything in our life. We must prepare a vessel for Elohim through Mashiach. We must clean the house. We must clean the house, not the house of my neighbor, but my own house. We have to work out our salvation with fear and trembling. This is what we read the Torah. The Torah shows us that the nefesh, the animal soul, like we see the children of Israel coming out from Mitzrayim in the wilderness, complain against Moshe. They don't even look at themselves with gratitude to see that Elohim has delivered them from the slavery. So brothers and sisters, we have to understand for ourselves, I am free because Yeshua set me free. And now I need to prepare this vessel to receive the fullness that Mashiach has for me. You and me, we need to become one. And what does Yeshua say when they ask him, when the Pharisees ask him, what is the greatest commandment? He say, you shall love Adonai, your Elohim, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your being. That's the first commandment. And the second is like this one, you shall love your neighbors as yourself. You see, these are connected. But how can I do that? How can I look at a brother as my equal and as a part of me in the Mashiach? Because there is one soul that's in Mashiach. Israel. What does Elohim say when he sent Moshe? Moshe went to Pharaoh and said, let my son come out. My son, he didn't say my sons, plural. No, he said my son, singular. Why? Why does he say that? Because every soul that is in Mashiach, or like the children of Israel, they were coming, all the soul, all the seed of the children of Israel came from Yaakov. one single person. This is why it is my son. You understand? It is indivisible. Israel is indivisible. We are one. It doesn't matter where I am born. It doesn't play any role. I am in Mashiach. If I am a direct descendant from the tribe of Israel, or if I am being grafted in, then it's no problem. We are all one. There is no difference. Read for that Ephesians chapter 2, you understand. We were all in the world without Elohim. But through him, through Yeshua, we have been reconciled to Elohim to become one. And now we have to stand for that. This means when I work out my salvation, I don't work out the salvation of my neighbor, looking for his mistake or looking for his problem, because that is the easy way to say, to put the blame on others. I have to put the blame on myself. I am my own enemy. We are all our own enemy. My flesh is my enemy, and I have to understand that. I have to accept it, and I have to work out. I have to accept that it is possible to take out Mitzrayim out of me, out of myself. I will work out. And step by step, I will understand what does it mean to come out from Mitzrayim. And we will see all this parachute. We will see the struggle of the children of Israel, and that the majority of them were over 20 who died in the wilderness. They were not able to enter the land of Canaan. This we should also learn. What will be? What will be? So the process of Mitzrayim, the process of the wilderness, 40 years, is a process of 2,000 years struggle from the first coming of Yeshua to this glorious return when he come back as a Mashiach. So we have to understand that we need to love one another. And I cannot love one another, I cannot love others if I don't love myself first. In order to love myself first, I need to empty myself. I need to empty myself from all what is, when I was entangled because I was in the world. I have to remove that myself, my anger, my jealousy, my sufficiency, my pride, all things which are from the left side, from the Yetzer Hara, from the evil inclination. So this is what I have to understand, and I have to elevate the Yetzer Tov, the good side, in order to glorify Elohim. So this is why it is written, Elohim resist the pride, but give favors, give chesed to the humble. So this is what we have to understand. This is how the scripture take form in us. We have the Torah. The Torah gives us the way how to live in the community of Israel. We have all the mitzvot. We have all what we have to do. And the Brit Hadashah gives us the key and the tools how to restore our soul. To restore our soul, which is called the Tikkun HaNefesh. We need to repair. We need to repair. I don't go to repair my brother. No. I repair myself first. I repair myself first. Then I can be a helper. I can be a helper in a congregation or among brethren. But first, we need to go through the process. And the process is very painful. It is reflected in the Torah as we read today in the life of Amalek. This Amalek must be removed from our life. He said, look, the Amalekite came and fought with Israel at Rephidim in chapter 17 from Shemot, Exodus. Moshe said to Yehoshua, choose men, go out and fight the Amalekite. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the staff of Elohim in my hand. So Yehoshua did as Moshe said and fought the Amalekites, while Moshe, Aaron and Hur went up to the top of the hill. When Moshe held up his hand, Israel prevailed. But when he let down his hand, the Amalekite prevailed. Moshe's hands grew heavy, so they took a stone, put it under him, and he sat down. Aaron and Hur held up his hand, and on each side, so his hand was steady until the sun went down. You see, when Moshe lifted up his hand, that means he's looking toward heaven, Yahushua prevailed. When he put his hand down, this means looking on the physical world, then it is Amalek who had the upper hand. So Yahushua overpowered the Amalekite and his army with the edge of the sword. Adonai said to Moshe, write this for memorial in the book and rehearse in the hearing of Yahushua, for I will utterly blot out the memory of the Amalekite from the heavens. He said, I will utterly blot out the memory of the Amalekite from the heaven. The Amalekites were not destroyed because we know that Amalek, we find Amalek much later, centuries later, fighting to destroy Yehuda. Amalek exists today in a spiritual entity in our life. And this Amalek must be killed. This is for another story. But we have to understand what brought what brought Amalek to confront the children of Israel. What brought, remember? It was doubt. The name of the place was called Masai Meriva because of the quarreling of Bnei Israel, because they tested Adonai, saying, is Adonai among us or not? This is the point. The point is there, in the moment we doubt, this means we're lacking of emunah. And lacking of emunah is an open door for the enemy. It's an open door for the enemy. And the enemy will dance around us to tell a story that we will eventually swallow. Kefase. Be careful, because the enemy, the devil, Satan, is like a roaring lion, looking whom he can devour. So we have to understand that we are our own enemy. We are our own enemy. The Yetzer Hara is a power, driving force in us, which is the result of the disobedience of Chava and Adam. So this driving force is in us, and we have to master it. We have to master it. There is nothing we cannot master. If we look in the book of Bereshit and we go and we see what does Jehovah look? What Jehovah does say to Cain? He said, then Adonai said to Cain, why are you angry? Why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, it will lift. But if you do not well, sin is crouching at the doorway. The doorway of what? The doorway. The doorway of your heart is designed for you, but you must master it. The solution is there. We need to master our Yetzer Hara. We need to master our own life, our own desire, which go against Elohim, which go against the unity in the body of Mashiach, which go in a way that is not good. And this is something we need to learn in order to be conquerors. Okay? So for my friends in the Philippines, and you know that I have a heart for my friends in the Philippines. I love the Philippines. I am part of it in my heart. So I say always, you have to check where you are going. We have to check. It's not because somebody called himself a leader that he is a leader. Many leaders need to teach themselves first. So what we do, we have to learn before we can teach others. We have to learn for ourselves. You see, we come together to see something, to ponder about something, and to understand by the favors of Elohim, to open our spiritual understanding, to be first transform ourselves. If we are not transformed, how can we help others to be transformed? So I have seen, you know, when I came to the Philippines, it was the first time, 2005, then I was impressed to see so many young people, people coming to assemblies. And myself, with my wife, we went to assembly to celebrate the Feast of Unleavened Bread, to celebrate Sukkot, and it was really a deception, because what I saw there, what I heard there, was not what the scripture tells us. I didn't find unity. I found competition. I found arrogancy. I found very negative traits, which were confirmed later, much later. I saw that what I saw was confirmed because it led to a debacle in some assembly. So you see, today we are now 2023, 2005 to 2023. It is more 18 years, almost 18 years. I have not seen any changes in the life of some people. No, why? Because I don't blame anybody. If I have somebody to blame, he's a leader. He's a leader who have not done the work they should do to take care of the flock of Elohim, to take care of the flock of Elohim, to give them the right food. This is, and if nobody is there to give you the right food, you will have to search for the right food. You will have to pray to Elohim to give you the right food, to send people across your ways, to bring unto me the people I need to have in order to grow. This is what we have to do, not to be in bondage in an assembly that will not help me. So, my brother and sister, I don't have any grudge against anybody. I just speak the truth because I know that we need to be set free. Yeshua tells us, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. The truth is the Torah. The truth is the Torah. And the Torah has different level of interpretation, which is in Judaism is called the Pardes. These 4 levels of interpretation, I need to dig into it in order to understand. And if I do the work, I will understand, I will be set free. If I don't, I will stay in bondage in an assembly, and I will be led by every winds of doctrines. So, brothers and sisters, I encourage you to look for that, to understand that when we study in the Torah, we study in order to be transformed in our mind, to be changed, to become the people Elohim want to have. Israel, a bride which is perfect, and this will come when Mashiach comes back. So do not be misled by what people say or what they don't say, but look into the scripture and pray for revelation knowledge, revelation knowledge, revelation knowledge. Pray for having the teaching according to the word of Elohim, not according to man's doctrine. This is the kind of prayer we should make. So we become, step by step, we become free. But first, we need to cleanse our own house. If I don't clean my own house, I am not ready. I need to make a vessel, a recipient for the Ruach HaKodesh, so that the light from the Neshama in me come and radiate around me. If I don't do that, I have not understood the message of our Adon Yeshua. I have not understood the message of the Shaliach, the apostle, and I am walking in my flesh. So I hope this teaching, or not teaching, but this sharing, I don't want to say teaching because I have to teach myself first. This sharing will help you to ponder about some points, and Elohim's willing, we will meet for the next Parashah in order to dig into it and to understand what we can learn for ourselves. So I wish you a blessing for those who are still in the Shabbat Shalom. For those who are finished with the Shabbat now, this time we will be almost finished in the East. I say Shavuot Tov, may you be blessed, and take time to ponder upon yourself, to be blessed by the word of Elohim. And don't forget, if it is painful, it is good. Painful things are the way to get free. Remember, it is written in Proverbs chapter 3 and in the book of Hebrews chapter 12 that Elohim chastises those he loves. And those who are not chastised, they have to question themselves who they are. So, blessing unto you, and see See you the next time. Shavua Tov, and bye-bye for now.